Hello there guys, Easy Boy Count here, back again with another video, and we are continuing with what if Deku was Kurama's reincarnation, part 2. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So like always, a small recap. So last time, after Izuku finally getting revenge on his school and Bakugo, with All Might almost guaranteed that Bakugo's future as a hero is gone, Izuku went on with his training and passed Yue entrance exam with flying colors. And now a week has passed. Izuku quickly found himself in front of Yue, unable to hold his excitement. Yes, he's the reincarnation of a very old fox, or entity, but he's still a teenager. So after searching a bit, he found the classroom, and when he opened the door, luckily there is no Bakugo, and there is no fighting. Soon after that, Oraka came from behind him, thinking for saving her. But they were interrupted when Izuku felt someone staring at him. He turned around only to be met with Aizawa, in his caterpillar state. He found it weird, but everyone have their own quirks. So you're our teacher? He asked. Aizawa confirmed it after he told everyone to shut up and to follow him to the outside field. They complained a bit, but they soon followed him. After that, he explained the test. Someone, Mina, found it funny. Aizawa smirked, and he gave them the same rule. The last place will be expelled immediately. They complained and they told him that he doesn't have the power to do that, he's only a teacher. But they were cut short with Izuku chuckling. Oh, trust me, he can. And he already did it, right, Eraserhead? Aizawa smirked. So you know about me. Izuku just smirked back. You are the guy that expelled the whole class last year. The class was shocked, then terrified. They slowly looked at Aizawa, and somehow his smirk grew even more. Everyone gulped and they decided to take this test seriously. So fast forward a bit and Izuku basically aced it. The only time he got the second place is with Oraka and ball test. The girl just got infinity, there is no way he can do that. So the last place was Invisible Girl. At this point she was crying because she will be expelled, and Aizawa was going to do it. Then he looked at the disappointed look in Izuku's eyes. He spoke in a low voice, just enough for the two of them to hear. You don't want me to expel her, huh? Izuku nodded. Your test is purely physical, so she doesn't have a quirk that will help her. The only other comparison with her is Kurashima, but he's a guy. He's biologically stronger than her. Plus her quirk is literally being invisible, so doubt she will fight any opponent head on. Aizawa took a few seconds to think about it, and he agreed with him. You're right. You're different, kid, but you know that I need to scare them. Izuku smirked. Oh, please do, that way you will motivate them even more. Aizawa smirked back, and he thought, I like this kid. Then Aizawa coughed a bit to get the attention of the class and told them to do whatever they want for the rest of the day. Invisible Girl was going to ask why she's not expelled, but one looked to Izuku and he told her to stay quiet. So she did, but then she approached him and asked him does he know why he did not expel her. My best bet, he was in a good mood. I don't want to be rude, but count your lucky stars and consider this as a second chance and a wake-up call to try harder. Because we have only 3 years. After that, we will become responsible for saving people's lives, if it come to it. Now I think about it, I think this is why he expelled the whole class. They haven't taken being a hero as serious as they need to be. Hagakure, or Invisible Girl, and the others that were listening to their conversation agreed with him. So for the rest of the day, Izuku have, for the first time in a while, a decade to be precise, a normal conversation with Ida and Oraka, and the others. Especially Kurashima. He found him entertaining, but for some reason he still have a bad feeling that something will happen. So fast forward to the next day, and All Might entered like a normal person. Of course everyone is excited to see him, but Izuku cannot help but chuckle at his antics. Izuku cannot help it but asking him a question. Yo, All Might, if that's how a normal person entered through the door, how will a hero do it? Go through the window? All Might laughed nervously after he saw the look in his eyes. So please, just use the door. Then he dashes away, leaving a stunned class and a laughing Izuku. Soon after that, Mina and Kaminari join him in laughter. So fast forward a bit and everyone are wearing the hero costume, and for Izuku everyone with something a bit familiar. After that they make the teams, half heroes, half villains, but they found out that they are short one person. So Izuku volunteered to play again. So for the first game, anyway. Izuku is teamed up with Oraka, and they are going against Ida and whoever you want, let's say Kurashima. So when Oraka and Izuku enter the building, they quickly made their way toward the other team, since I think Kurashima will listen to Ida and and so they stayed together. Of course, he found it hilarious and a bit weird trying to act like a villain, especially with Ida's bad acting. But soon the fighting starts, and they figure out really quickly that Izuku is really good. Even with Kirishima hardening his skin and actually landing a hit on Izuku, Izuku always kept a grin, almost like a smirk on his face. Oraka, on the other hand, was having a hard time against Ida. She doesn't have any objects to fight with, and Izuku quickly found it out. So he kicked up a notch and decided to fight both Kirishima and Ida at the same time. And with both of them not having any fighting experience, Izuku having the upper hand. But then they stop when All Might declared that they won. Ida congratulates Izuku and Oraka on their win in his weird way. Same for Kirishima, but he was also quite impressed with Izuku. Then everything went on as the anime. But now is the time for Izuku to play once again. And this time he's with Zero as a villain. So soon they enter the building and they're waiting for the heroes. And Izuku got an idea. He smirked and looked at Zero. Hey, do you want to scare the crap out of them? Zero shrugged. Sure. So soon, Aoyama and Mina enter the building. At first they were goofing around, until they start hearing some noises. It's like someone is scratching something on the wall, but soon it stopped. So they resumed searching. Then they found Izuku standing in the middle of the hallway, turning his back to them, but then the light flickered and he's gone. He's fast, they thought, but then they start hearing his voice from all around them. Well, what do we have here? Two heroes. I'm feeling merciful, so let me give you a deal. Turn around and leave, or give up. I don't care which. The both of them decided to play their part, and they told him that they will not give up. Izuku started laughing. As you wish. But with what should I begin? The heart, the lungs, the spine, all these options, and so little time. The heroes and everyone are watching cannot suppress a shiver after hearing that. Even All Might is thinking that he's taking his role a little bit too seriously, so they quickly get their composure back, but it was too late. I will start with you, Izuku said behind Aoyama, and by the time Mina turned around, both of them disappear. She can only hear the scream of Aoyama. She's not calling him by his earpiece, but Izuku replied, Sorry, little hero, your friend is out of commission, and you will be next. Right about, then he appeared behind her. Now, Mina screeched, but Izuku quickly captured her. All Might snap out of it and declared them the winners. So soon everyone returned to the control room, with the two of them a bit frightened. Izuku rubbed the back of his head. I think we scared them a little bit too much, huh? You think? Zero replied. You even scared me and I was on your team. Izuku just laughed sheepishly. Especially that speech about the weak point. How did you think of that? Oh, it's a story I read a while back. It was about a ninja assassin, and that was his favorite line, if I remember correctly. Huh, cool. So soon when they arrived at the control room, everyone bombarded Izuku about his little performance. Then Izuku gave them the same explanation. They understand, then the class ended and it's time for lunch. But while they are in their way, suddenly the alarm went off and everyone lost that crap immediately. Izuku quickly had enough and let out a pulse of killer intent that stopped everyone. Stop, Izuku said. If you can look at the gate, you can already see the heroes already are investigating what's happening. So there is no reason for you to act like chicken without heads. So please, stay calm. Understood? Everyone slowly nodded and they made their way toward the cafeteria. But Izuku did throw one last glance toward the gate because he felt malice coming from it right before the alarm. So after a bit, everyone are back in the class. And Aizawa gave them the decision to choose the class president. So after some debate, surprisingly they choose Izuku and Momo, with Ida coming one vote short of Momo. Izuku just asked why they choose him. Well, you are the strongest in the class, you get the first place in entrance exam, and your little display earlier at the cafeteria. Izuku nodded and sighed. Okay, I get it. After that, time passed and everyone are heading back home. Izuku saw the gate was already fixed, but he can still smell something rotten or decayed from it. It's definitely not rust, but he can still see some dust on the ground. So he quickly started coming up with theories on the possible quirk that can do that, and why. Fast forward to the next day and everyone are heading toward the USJ, and for Izuku he decided to take a seat right beside Todoroki. So why? Izuku asked. Todoroki was puzzled. Why what? Why do you hate your fireside? Todoroki was taken aback. Then Izuku continued. Yesterday, when you used your quirk to melt the ice, I felt that you hate doing that. So, care to explain? Todoroki scoffed and tell him to stay out of it, he won't understand. Izuku chuckled a bit. Oh, trust me, I know more about hatred than you do. Todoroki locked eyes with him and he will swear that his eyes turned red for a second. So here's my theory. You hate your quirk, it's because 1. You hurt someone close to you with it. 2nd, someone in your family hit your quirk and that hatred was passed on to you by accident or by neglect. You hate it because it made you remember someone. And Izuku did catch that he flinched at the 2nd and 3rd, especially the 3rd. Todoroki clenched his fist and gritted his teeth. Don't start thinking that you know me. No, I don't, but I'm trying to help you. So what, you will tell me to let go of my hatred? Todoroki whispered a growl. No, I will not tell you who to hate or love, that's up to you. Though I will tell you to not go after revenge because that's a dark path. But what I will tell you to do is to not hurt yourself because of your hatred. You're holding yourself back. Whoever have a similar quirk to you is not you and never will. But if you keep doing this, holding yourself back, you will let them inside your head and that's how they win. Todoroki was honestly surprised and taken aback. So how do you know this? He asked. Izuku looked at him and his smile dropped. And Todoroki can see the rage behind his eyes. Because just like you, I hate someone. Even though I got my payback from him, my blood still boils each time I think about him. And I think I will never get over my hatred toward him. Especially since he doesn't want to get redemption. But the difference between you and me, I use my hatred to grow stronger. I did not let my hatred control me. I controlled it. I am not a slave to it. But that's what you're doing. You're letting your hatred and self-pity making you weak. Let me ask you a question. What will happen when you fight someone that make your eyes useless? So what will you do? So you just give up? Or let's say since you are trying to become a hero, you are trying to protect someone and your ice is not effective and you need to use your fire. But you don't. Or your fire is not strong enough because you neglected it. And the blame will be on you. Not whoever this person that you hate. Only you. So next time you're trying to use your fire, remember, it's your body, it's your quirk, nobody else. Todoroki looked down, then he lifted his left hand. I don't know. I have to... Izuku cut him off. Fight your inner demons? Yeah, I know. I've been there. Done that. It will not be easy, but this is something that we have to do. I did it, and you will. Todoroki stood quiet for a few seconds. I will think about it. President? Izuku smirked. You guys chose me, so it's my job now. And he chuckled a bit. Todoroki formed a small smile. And even though they are talking low, almost like whispering, Aizawa heard them and he smirked. Good job, kid. That's why I like you. Although, that person that you hate, I have to make sure that you don't fall into your darkness. Soon after that, they arrived at USJ, and instantly Izuku felt something off. He can feel a lot of malice coming from it. He quickly signaled to Aizawa to play along. Yo, Teach, let's go get the equipment that you told me about yesterday. Equipment? 13 asked, and Aizawa signaled to her to follow along. They walked behind the boss, and instantly Izuku gets serious. Call for backup, every teacher if you have to. Why? Aizawa asked. You see, my quirk allows me to sense the negative emotions of people. The heroes nod, and right now I can feel a small army inside of it. He pointed at USJ. You sure? They asked. He nodded. So Aizawa quickly called for Nizu and explained what's happening. And after he's done, he asked, so what now? We will wait a couple of minutes, then we will go inside. I don't know about you, but I can smell an ambush. Someone knew about us coming here, so someone must told them. Luckily, they don't know about our quirks, or mine at least. So we should play along that we don't know who they are, so they will not get suspicious and get sloppy. Good thinking, Aizawa replied. So they went back to the rest of the class, and they lied, telling them that they forgot the equipment. So they entered the building with the three of them on high alert. Soon Kirishima pointed out that there is fake villains and the attack began. Aizawa decided to jump in and try to stop them, while 13 stayed with the rest. But soon Kurogiri appeared and tried to teleport everyone away. But before anyone can react, Izuku attacked him, but he went through him. I'm sorry, but that will not work on me. Izuku thought it's just like with that Uchiha once again. Then he saw there is a metal plate around his neck. So he charged once again, and this time he caught his hand with wind. Unlike he expected, he almost cut through it. Kurogiri screamed in pain. And right before Izuku landed the finishing blow to knock him out, he teleported away, right back to Shigaraki. Shigaraki was taken aback for a second. Kurogiri was hurt this early?
"Who did it to you?" he asked. "The brat with green hair. Somehow he have the ability to use wind, but I didn't know wind can do this."
So we cannot separate them. How can NPC like him be this strong? Back to Izuku, he's looking at Aizawa stomping on all the villains, and he's honestly impressed. For someone that doesn't have a strength quirk, and he's not overly bulky like All Might, he's really strong. Then his head snapped back. He can feel All Might coming, he will be here in a minute or two. But then he felt something enter the battlefield. He can hear Shigaraki call it the Nomu. At first he thought it was a villain that was brainwashed, so Aizawa can easily take him out using his quirk. But then he quickly realized that Aizawa's quirk is not working on it. So without wasting a beat, he charged at the Nomu with a Rasengan in hand. And when it connected, it made a small shockwave, and he thought that he managed to push the Nomu away, until he was forced to dodge a blow from him. "What the? How?" Izuku asked. And this time Shigaraki started laughing and explained the Nomu have two quirks: shock absorption and regeneration. So his little spinning ball will do nothing against him. And Izuku started thinking, shock absorption and regeneration, so no super strength, so it means he's naturally strong. Yo, Aizawa, whatever you do, make sure to avoid his blows. From what I can gather, he's immensely strong without a quirk. Yeah, Aizawa replied, in pain. I already figured that out. Yeah, sorry, being stupid there. So I have a good news and bad news. The good news, All Might is near. The bad news, he's at least a minute or more away. Damn it, could be worse, Aizawa replied. I know you're a kid and all, but any plans? Immediately Izuku put his hands together, then he was surrounded with smoke. And when the smoke dissipated, the villains and Aizawa are looking in shock. Brad, is this? Yep, this is my actual form. Suppress? He asked. Yes, in this form I'm actually stronger. But we will talk about details later. Struck a conversation with him for a minute. I need to concentrate. Aizawa nodded. So, what's your deal? He asked Shigaraki. Shigaraki snapped out of it and started looking at Aizawa. Oh, nothing. We just want to kill All Might. So why is he not here? He's busy with other things. Oh, really? Oh, let's just hope that the death of few of his students will be enough encouragement for him to come. Aizawa gritted his teeth and looked back to Izuku. Izuku's changed once again. This time his eyes become toad-like with heavy pigmentation around his eyes. And he heard him whisper Sage Mode. And without wasting a beat, Izuku pushed his hand forward, releasing a massive gust of wind toward the villains, sending Shigaraki and Kogiri flying. The Nomu was able to hold on a bit longer, but eventually he followed them as well. Aizawa was in shock. Where did this much power come from? Izuku locked eyes with him. I will explain later. For now, back me up until All Might arrive. Aizawa snapped out of it and nodded. The two of them charged the villains, and Aizawa remarked that Izuku is much faster. Talk about a trump card. So when they arrived at the three villains, Izuku shouted at Aizawa to cancel the Nomu's quirk. And when he did, Izuku created a massive Rasengan, slightly bigger than the Nomu, and when it connected, a massive explosion was created, actually hurting Shigaraki. Luckily Aizawa was behind Izuku, so he's safe. And the Nomu? Well, it's on the ground, bleeding, and having multiple broken bones. But the Nomu started getting up. Thought so. This thing is not human anymore. What? Aizawa asked. Izuku nodded slowly. It's like a zombie now, it will only follow orders. So just like a zombie, and because of its quirks, the only weak point that it have, it's its brain, Aizawa continued. So any suggestions? Because it will keep coming until it's permanently down. Then Izuku looked at the door on another thought. Scratch that, he's here. Then All Might burst to the door and he's upset. Then he saw the students are fine. Then he spotted Izuku and Aizawa in the distance. Aizawa blinked and he's in front of them. But when he looked back to Izuku, he's not surprised. Was he able to keep up with him? How strong is he? So what's happening here? So Izuku explained what happened with the Nomu and Shigaraki, the villains. And at the same time, Aizawa's eyes give out. He can keep them open so long. So the Nomu healed himself, and All Might saw that and he started fighting him. Izuku thought of interfering, but then he locked eyes with Shigaraki and Kurogiri. He smirked. How about we let the big guys fight it out? And we will be your opponent. Shigaraki cursed, especially after seeing the Nomu getting beaten by All Might. So Kurogiri decided they should fall back. Shigaraki agreed. Oh, no you don't, Izuku shot and charged at them. Immediately Kurogiri covered his Shigaraki by extending himself, and Izuku stopped in his track. Last thing he want is getting teleported wherever this guy want. But then Shigaraki was turned into Swiss cheese. So Kurogiri decided enough is enough. He completely covered Shigaraki and they teleport away. At the same time, All Might finished the Nomu with literally punching him out of the USJ. After that, the three heroes met up with the teachers, and Izuku explained the situation, and explained where are the villains. And by the way, at this point he's already out of sage mode. Izuku quickly think on his feet, and he tells them that the leader that you just turned into Swiss cheese was blabbing about the villains and everything. Izuku and Aizawa lock eyes for a second, and he signaled to him to just trust him. Aizawa understand. So far the kid was on point, so he put his trust in him. Soon after that, everyone was taken back to UA, and for the villain side, Shigaraki just fell onto the ground, bleeding profusely, and cursing everything, especially All Might and the Fox Boy. What's wrong, Shigaraki? Orphan asked. So Shigaraki rant about All Might, and especially the green hair boy that somehow his hair turned orange and gained 9 orange tails. And he was also able to actually hurt the Nomu and somehow break his bones with just one massive attack. Oh, you don't say. Orphan sound intrigued. Anyway, Shigaraki, you rest and think about your next move. And Kurogiri, try to get any information about this boy. Kurogiri bows. Of course, master. Orphan ended the call, but he started laughing a bit. A kid that was able to damage the Nomu. Just who are you, boy? And maybe your quirk is worth taking. And with this, I'm going to stop it right here. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a while, so let's say 300, 400 likes and I'll put the next part sooner. And if you are new, subscribe, and see you guys soon. Peace.